Can you really hack Facebook? Hello, my friends, and welcome to the 215th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. And as you can tell, I have not changed the format. Not yet, at least. I ran across an interesting individual. I want you to meet him and learn from him. Actually, I just interviewed him last night, Sunday night. He's in Australia. It was Monday morning for him. So I'm bringing out his interview. If you missed last week's, please check out Joshua Fechter. He's a young entrepreneur running the largest meetup in San Francisco. Young guy, he's got a good story. You know, success does leave clues, and he dug in and found them and is making a name for himself. So you will be inspired by that. Today, I won't steal too much of the thunder from down under, but Brett Campbell hacked Facebook. And among other things, great entrepreneurial story. I ran across him online. He was able to speak and meet rather quickly. So rather than change the format, I thought you would benefit from his story. And just a good guy. A lot of fun catching up with him. Also, when you look at the show notes, he gave us a very generous offer, a free download you can get. If you head on over to thesaleswhisperer.com/session 215, you can get that free download. Scroll down towards the bottom and, middle, 3/4 of the way down, and you'll find it above my signature. Just below the Navy SEAL Tampa Bay Frogman Swim, which I'm sure you've donated to, right? You can click there and donate as well. But when you get his free report, sign up for my daily email. That's been going well, and it drives traffic. It leads people towards my application for private consulting, and that has taken off a little bit beyond my wildest dreams. So check that out. Go ahead and apply. Let me know if I can help you. I just had a conference call today with one of my clients, Alicia Wicker, and I've been sharing her statistics online, but she's an interior design coach. And her first month, which was a couple of months ago of us working together, she increased her opt-ins from 100 to 383. Today, she told me she's basically maintaining it. She was at 337 last month for opt-ins, and that's no ad spend. We didn't do anything, crazy cost-wise, just some of the fundamental changes and ideas that I gave her. She also told me that on the launch that I helped her do like 2 weeks ago, she increased her membership 54%. So you might want to check out that private consulting while I still have some time and before I raise the price. So head on over to thesaleswhisperer.com, get the show notes from this episode, session 215, and then apply. Now let's bring on Brett. Brett Campbell, all the way from Australia. Welcome to the Sales Podcast, man. How the heck are you?
Dude, I'm very well. Very well. Australia, beautiful country. Got sun shining out to my right. Mate, can't complain.
I was just saying before I turned the record on, thank you for saving me from watching my country's election debate. So that's all we'll say about the election, okay? Don't make me end this thing early because I will.
So I tell you what, it's quite funny actually. I've been in a lot of my talks and a lot of presentations I've been doing lately. I've been referencing the debate quite a lot. The entire the last 9 months, almost a year, right? I mean, geez, there's so many talking points out of it. Take away whatever your perception or who you want, who you don't want, etc. There's some very valuable lessons, especially if you tie it into, one is from a business perspective, but then also how do you tie it into your own general life? And it's, it's crazy to say.
Well, and that's what I am trying to tell everybody that I'm associated with and my clients and followers is that regardless of what happens, you're still in control of your own destiny, right? I mean, these boobs in office only have so much control. So don't give them any more control or input or influence than they need to have. Right? Go out and continue to produce. Go out and continue to make things happen. And, let the cards fall where they may, right? But debating whatever, I mean, is that really going to help you. It's just going to be a distraction. And honestly, I think some of them want us to be distracted, so go focus, go build something that matters, right? Go build something that'll improve everybody else's life. Because I think now more than ever, people are looking for something that'll improve their lives, especially because of how messed up the world is. So,
And I think, one of the biggest things that you could draw from it and can take from any of these type of experiences is you got to look at, right? Whoever you are, Trump, Clinton, you've got half the country hating you, half the country for you. And that in itself is a very, very big, powerful lesson in life and in business. It's like, how do you actually, and this is that whole concept, again, of becoming self-aware, becoming aware of what's actually happening around you, why it could be happening, and what you could draw from it. So I'm a person who, whenever there's any type of controversy, any of that sort of dialogue, I always look at it from, a couple of different perspectives and go, what could I gain from this? What could I learn from this to help take me to the next level? And you've got to look at it, right? Some people don't even like one Facebook message where someone's mean to them or says something to them that, maybe is against their current values level. Imagine being hammered every day from people, and whether the stuff's true or not true, it's how do you actually handle the controversy? How do you actually take on what someone's saying? And, you look at Trump and you got to say, and Clinton or any of the presidential candidates, is you got to look at it and go, they are still pushing forward for what they truly believe in. Right. And regardless of any political view, you've got to pay credit where credit's due to that particular component, and there's too many entrepreneurs, too many business owners start a business and they stop because maybe 2 or 3 people gave them, some feedback and they didn't like it and they're like, oh, I'm a failure, I can't do this. So, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a political podcast, but, there's always lessons out of everything that we could draw from. And I think it's really important for us to start taking personal responsibility for that.
Yeah, amen. I mean, I've always talked about, choose who to lose. And I mean, here in the States, 2 big names are, Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh, right? And so like them, or hate them, they own their niche, right? And they don't apologize for who they are. They don't apologize for their message. They don't tone it down. The more the people complain, the more they ratchet it up. So, that was a good point. But, looking at you, you've got nearly 88,000 Facebook fans. So you've got to be achieving a little bit of hate mail here and there as well, right? Some trolls. So talk to us. Usually I jump in like, hey, tell us who you are and what you do. And we kind of just got into some stuff. So tell us who you are and what you do. And then let's talk about how do you handle the hate and the trolls and how do you keep moving forward despite the attacks?
So the quick snapshot, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've always been an entrepreneur. I put a post up actually the other day and I said, I didn't choose entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship chose me. And that's how I truly believe. And every entrepreneur, and I know you're nodding there now, your eyes opened, which means you feel that, right? When you're a born entrepreneur, you just know that you're put on this planet to do something greater than yourself. Majority of the time is we don't know what the heck that means. And we don't know how to actually go out there and make that become a reality. And that was the majority of my starting in my life. And, I come from very low socioeconomic background. I had no one really to aspire to, no real big mentors, etc. But I felt within inside myself that I wasn't on the right path. I got kicked out of high school at 16 for talking too much, fell into an apprenticeship, stayed at this apprenticeship for 5 years too long. I knew on day number 1 that this was not what Brett Campbell was put on this planet to do. But once again, I didn't know. I didn't have any idea of how to change that trajectory. So I just stuck at what fell in front of me. I was just playing the cards that were dealt daily. And it got to a point where it was just too much that I ended up packing my bag, got my golf clubs, jumped on an airplane, moved from New Zealand, where I grew up, to Australia. And I started, I became a fitness professional. So I started as a personal trainer, and I loved that job. I loved one of my, 3 things I was really good at high school was woodwork, physical education, and lunch. I'd already tried the woodwork thing. I became an apprentice cabinet maker. I wasn't going to get paid to eat, so I thought, well, let's just use this fitness stuff. Right? So I became really good at it. Became a personal trainer. Met my now wife. She ended up joining the business as well. We built a large franchise. We went from 1 location to 35 in 6 months. we've generated over 450,000, closer to 500,000 now. I should update that. Leads, big community, over 45,000 customers around the world. I also now, as you can see behind me, I've created 2 new movements this year, being the Unleash Your Greatness and the Authority Academy. Unleash Your Greatness is simply helping individuals start uncovering what their true purpose is in life and helping them release and unleash their greatness to the world so you can start living to your full potential. I've just got a book come out around that. Actually, this is a first scoop. This is the first copy. It literally arrived 5 minutes before we got on this show, and I'm like, I was compelled. I wanted to jump online and do a live, and I was like, I've got to do this.
I was calling your publicist and the printer. I said, you make this happen. This is the Sales Whisperer, baby. Bring the book.
It is. It's the first copy here. So just launching my first book right now, which is, again, it's called Right Now, Why Not You, Why Not Now, which is all about uncovering your full potential and then creating a plan around how you can actually go and implement it. Because there's too many daydreamers not taking their daydreams and turning it into reality. So, and the Authority Academy, where I help entrepreneurs and small business owners, start turning their passion, their skill, their knowledge into a sustainable business so you can live the life that most people only dream of. So there's a lot going on there, but mate, I'm an entrepreneur at heart and I'm here to serve.
So why the big change? Why'd you have to leave your home country to make things happen?
Because there was nothing going on for me there. I was living in a town, literally 3,000 people. I'd scaled my way up. Now, anything that I do in life, I've always had the drive to try and become the best at it. And, I became an apprentice cabinet maker. I was the first apprentice who got signed off on their apprenticeship a year early in the entire company's history because I was always striving for that next thing. But the best thing that I could aspire to there was to own the actual factory. And they were actually grooming me to own the factory, to take over the factory. But I realized that you could give me this factory and 1,000 other joinery factories and I still wouldn't feel complete with inside myself. So it was the quest where I guess I mustered up enough courage within inside of me, or the pain was that bad that it forced me to go, you know what, there's got to be more to life than this.
So how old were you when you made the move?
I would have been 24, I believe, yeah.
And so you show up basically with nothing, right?
Yep.
And what do you do? What do you do at first to start becoming a fitness trainer?
Well, I go to the local nightclub, first of all, when I get a job in the nightclub. I moved to Surfers Paradise in the Gold Coast, so not a bad place to try and start a new life, right? So I went to the best local nightclub. I'm like, well, this is where I've got to start meeting new people as well. So I became a security guard there, did some security at night, and I was studying the certification that I needed in Australia to become a personal trainer. Now, admittedly, actually a year prior to that, I had an attempt at university. So, when I left my job, I actually thought I didn't move from New Zealand to Australia straight away. I actually went and did a year at university. I signed up to a sport and leisure degree so I could become a fitness professional. But after a year of that, I was like, this is the biggest joke. All I did was party, go to the gym, and just hang out with mates. I thought university. I was so surprised at how easy university was. But in saying that, I did learn a thing or two throughout that year, which was basically the certification that I was trying to do when I got here. So I'd do that by correspondence. And in 3 months, I'd already lined myself up a job at the gym. And the funny thing was when my classmates from university went back to uni for the second year, I was already a personal trainer, earning a couple of grand cash in my back pocket a week. So it was quite a fulfilling, and I knew that I'd made the right decision.
Very cool. All right. So you land, because I always want to get the nitty gritty, right? Because people, kicked out of school, didn't like an apprenticeship, changed countries, own 35 franchises. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But there was some, burning the midnight oil, right? Burning the candle at both ends sort of thing to put all the pieces together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the little things I like to kind of drill down. So you become a fitness trainer, but now you're just at a gym, right? So you're just one of 5 or 10 or 55 trainers at this gym, right?
There's about 30 of us at the stage.
Oh my gosh. So then how do you differentiate yourself, and then how do you make that move into your own thing?
Yep. So the thing I got kicked out of school for was the blessing in disguise, right? I was able to speak, and I was able to have conversation with people and come across very authentic and genuine, because I was, I've been brought up really well. I've got I've got the skill set which I think all children should be brought up with, which is manners, right? So I would literally get on the gym floor, and I was out there hustling, talking to people, sharing my knowledge, and then just transitioning them into, hey, look, would you like me to become your trainer? So I got filled up really quickly with that. And what happened was, one day I was walking outside because I was renting a house, like room sharing, when I first got here. And I was walking past my flatmate's computer, and on the screen I seen a PDF document, which was actually a workout program. And I said to her, what is that? And she goes, I just bought it. It's an online workout program. I paid $37. And I was like, what the? You hear this concept, make money while you sleep, This was actually the time in which that book was purchased. The person in America would have been asleep. And I was like, wow. I said, and then from there on, I was like, man, I'm doing 40 hours a week as a personal trainer, sometimes up to 50. And as a fitness professional, that is tough. A 40-hour week as a personal trainer was worse than a 70-hour week as a laborer, because it was mentally taxing. What I thought was becoming a personal trainer helped people physiologically, I quickly realized that psychologically we are all fucked up, right? And it became a passion of mine, because I was able to, from a natural ability, and I think every single person has a natural ability to be able to start helping people on a psychological level, right? And this is the problem, I think, with the industry at the moment, with everyone can be a life coach. But what happened was, it started and triggered within inside of me this journey of self-discovery of myself. The more I started learning about myself, the more I started uncovering about myself and my past, my history, all of these habits and everything that was going on with me. As soon as I started learning about emotional intelligence and becoming more emotionally intelligent, my hunger within inside of me wanted to help more and more people, because I wanted to simply share that feeling. So it got from this concept where I was like, okay, I walked past my flatmate's computer and I seen an online workout program. I was like, this is going to be the vehicle that I am going to now be able to use to get my message out to the world.
All right, so we're going to go big in just a minute, but I have a lot of people in retail, a lot of people are fitness trainers, and they're terrible at that opening. How would you approach somebody and not be seen as a freak or a pervert or a pushy, cheesy salesman? Because I know people are like, okay, what's that opening line? Because most people, they don't know.
Yeah. How about we go back to basic one-on-one communication? We go, hey, how you doing? Start a conversation with actually care. And this is a difference. It's something that I teach fitness trainers as well, is you must go into it not trying to get the sale, right? If your first intention is to get the sale, people will smell that, right? People smell that from miles away, and it's called energy. But if you actually go in with the intention, how I picked up a majority of my clients was I would go in there and I would literally say, hey, how you doing? Are you training this today? I say, hey, would you like me to be able to show you a couple of different variations of that? Oh, yeah, sure. Change variations, skill them on that. Say, hey, look, if you actually extend your tricep at full extension, you're going to recruit more muscle fibers, blah, 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 etc. And they're like, oh. What you'll find is most people will then ask you. Gone are the days of pushy sales to try and manipulate or NLP someone's ass into buying something from you. You've got to be truly authentic, truly genuine, like you really care, and then provide the solution if they want it. So, hey, would you be interested in XYZ? If I could show you how to get XYZ, would you want to know about it? Yeah, cool. Okay, well, let's line up a time to chat. That line right there.
Right.
If I could show you how to, so if I said to you, if I could show you how to make $1 million next month, would you be interested in finding out more?
I am not taking a 50% pay cut. No.
I meant 10 million next month. And you would say, sure, what's involved? And you're going to get some people who might be skeptical, because that can be like, okay, here we go. What are you going to try and sell me into? Right. But if you open a conversation authentically and genuine and have the intention that you are there to serve and not to try and make a sale, the sale will come naturally. That's
right.
And that happens in everything that I do.
All right. I love it. Amen. Okay, so back to your flatmate. You're like, all right, I can make money while I sleep, but you're still grinding it out at the gym. So how do you make that transition into making money while you sleep?
Yeah. So the thing with making money while I sleep, that was a byproduct of really what sparked inside of me. And it was the fact that I could reach millions of people. All of a sudden, I wasn't going to be capped as a local fitness trainer. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I could first remember, I wanted to be able to serve the entire world. I didn't know what that meant, what that looked like, or anything about that, but I just had this feeling. I seen that as the vehicle. Of course, a vehicle to be able to make money as well, but for me, the biggest thing, and I've always known if you can serve people, money is going to come as a byproduct of it, right? So for me, I was doing about 40 hours a week as a personal trainer. I seen this online ebook and I was like, wow, I need to learn this stuff. So I immersed myself. I became obsessed with online marketing. This was back in 2011, into 2010 potentially, where I started to embark on it. And I was like, I signed up to everyone's email list. I was looking at every squeeze page. I was, back then there was no drag and drop builders. There was none of that. It was like I had to learn HTML coding and I was learning all these other things because I didn't know you could outsource things to people and all of that. I was like, when I was a personal trainer, I'd be coming home. Any time that I had left, I'd be sitting on my MacBook Pro. It was a 13-inch MacBook Pro, sitting on my couch trying to learn all this stuff and uncover, how do I build a funnel? How do I build a product? I built my first ever online product, which is called the 21-Day Rapid Fat Loss Blueprint. I was onto a killer. I was like, what a great product, what a great idea. Now what I need to do is I go out there, I've got my video camera filming it, doing all these things, spent literally, and I tracked the first 1,000 hours that I spent. Okay, and that first year, it was close over 1,000 hours that I was spending learning or committing to this online endeavor. I launched the product and literally sold about 20 units of this product at $27. And it was a flop. Right, it worked out on the 1,000 hours. I took a big pay cut down 41 cents an hour. I worked out that's what I earned. But the thing I realized was the only reason it flopped was because I had an email list of about 300 people. And out of that 300 people, majority of those people I didn't even know or would have never had actual contact with. Because guess what I did back in the day? I was desperate to build an email list. I'd see a business card, I'd pick it up and I'd go, yep, you're coming on my database. And I'd send them out a monthly, because that's what everyone was saying, right? Send a monthly newsletter with some information. I'd get emails back. Who the fuck says, what are you sending me this for? I'm like, right. So maybe out of that 300, I had 100 people that I would have come in contact with at the gym because I'd be on the gym floor saying, hey, what's your email address? I'll send you some information about, strength training and all of this sort of stuff. And, so then I started becoming obsessed with lead generation and how do you actually do that? Because I knew that the product and service that I had was great. I just wasn't able to put it in front of the right amount of people.
I'm going in and out of mute because I've got a family over visiting with a bunch of screaming kids.
Cool, man. I can't hear a thing, so it's all good.
All right. So you flop, and you know what? We usually learn from our failures, right? And so then what? Because that's not that long ago. I mean, that's 5 years ago. You're doing this 5.5 years ago. You do this launch. So you've made a big shift, a big learning curve since then.
Yeah. And then Facebook came along and started to rear its nose, and I took advantage of every single thing, and I have done ever since. There was one particular night that, have you heard of a Facebook offer? Yep. So a Facebook offer is simply an added tool that Facebook allows anyone with a fan page to actually use. When it came out, it was like, get this offer. The example they were using was like of a cupcake business in your local community and said, go and get this offer. And you bring this voucher in and you'll get 50% off your next cupcake. I was like, well, I don't have a cupcake business. I've got an online business and I know
like an anti-cupcake business.
Yeah, that's right, pretty much. But I knew what landing pages and squeeze pages were, and I was like, I just need to get traffic to this. So we had our funnel. And basically what I did, and I shared this story, it's about how I hacked Facebook. But the real quick version is, we put up this offer, we peppered our terms and conditions with our URL for our opt-in page, and mate, the offer went viral. We had 12,564 people come through our email database within the first 24 hours. The offer got seen by over 109,000 people claimed it, and it was seen by over 5 million people. Now, what people need to understand is I'd been hustling my ass off for over 12 months trying to get leads, and I was trying everything. Like, that was number one out of probably 20 different things I was trying to generate leads. That gave us a little bit of a kickstart there. And we just ended up becoming, we built Facebook communities. We've got a private community in our female fitness business of over close to 19,000 ladies now. And we haven't looked back since.
So that, I'm always trying to figure out the proper mix of, how much do you do for free on Facebook, like on your page, or a free group versus a paid group? And do you have, so you're focusing on ladies. So, okay, do you have one for senior citizen women and then moms, and then women that aren't moms, how do you juggle between, the free and the paid and the super closed group, private, elite, and
you try not to make too much work for yourself. Our products basically, target the 19 to 45-year-old female. Now, we've got people in our community that are 55. We've even got 60-year-old ladies in our community. We've got 19-year-old girls in our community. The conversation can change, but my advice would not be to go and start a private mums group, unless you have a fully fledged, mother's side of the business. Like when my wife gets pregnant and has children, maybe we might go, cool, she's gone through that experience. Let's create the pregnancy version of this. But I'm a big fan of having our larger community where the dialogue can change slightly, and you're not having to manage 50 different things. So however, in saying that, and I'll drop a little bit of a thing here, is I recommend from a fan page perspective, having a large network of them, different minute niches.
Oh, I got you.
People to raise their hand.
So it's about 50. So basically, try to super micro niche versus having a big broad page.
Yep. Then you could have the unique conversation to that page and to that person.
Gotcha. Okay, so 12,564 opt-ins in a day. That can certainly help. Now, was this like a 50% off offer, or what was it?
No, so we were offering a free 7-day meal plan. And this is very important. At the time, people were selling these things, and I paid attention to the market, right? People were selling these for $70, and it was shit. It was like a really crappy plan of a couple of people who were doing it at the time. And we're like, wow, why don't we just give it to them? Let's just give them a whole plan. Yes, I could go, but we could really sell that for $60, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, but we've got other products and services that we sell.
Okay, so what were the others? Now, so there's kind of a gap here. I mean, you're still working as a trainer, right? Just at a gym as an employee or a contractor? So
I was working at a gym. I had trainers underneath me because I started to, bring in apprentices and so forth. But I knew that wasn't the path I wanted to take. I was really just doing it because I could, which is a bit of a theme, actually. And if you're watching right now, just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. Think about that, okay?
Right.
Because guess what happened? I got into this game and we generated heaps of leads. We're getting people from all over Australia say, when are you going to train with us? Literally in every place, they were like, come and train us. I'll come and join your program. So that's where the franchise came out of. I was like, yeah, okay, well, let's serve these people. Let's get everyone, let's help as many people as we can. So we built the community. We got the locations up. And it was one of those things that because I did, and I was serving so many people and I was helping everyone. Like, again, we've got 45,000 customers around the world, that have had a part of one of our products or services that they've committed to. But it all turned, upside down when, I I was sitting in an airplane. I just had this light bulb moment that just changed my life forever. So it was, and that's where now we're progressing a lot more into, for me personally, like where Brett Campbell spends his time and energy is now helping people realize their full potential with this whole Unleash Your Greatness movement there, and with the Authority Academy, because I'm born to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And the sooner someone can realize that, whether they're watching, listening to this, if you know that you're born to teach, then you need to be doing everything in your power to be able to do that. And what I started with was teaching what I knew really well and what we're doing. And that's the difference. I think there needs to be a level of congruency where you're teaching something that you know, right? So when I was in the peak of building massive database, massive lists, massive communities, I wasn't teaching anyone because I was too busy doing it. The reason why we created a franchise as well was I was coaching and mentoring personal trainers on how to build their own business, but I was having the same conversation. I was like, why don't I just give you the business? And, it wasn't until I realized that I was down a path, and I knew that wasn't the path I wanted to be on for the rest of my life.
Right. So so I'm still trying to understand though. Were you an employee as a trainer, or were you like a contractor at the club?
Yeah, I was a franchisee within a big gym. So I paid rent to this place, and I could train.
And so you launched a 7-day meal plan for free, but what were your other products? Were they physical products, or were they all info products?
Yeah. Info products at that time. So our first product, the Bikini Body Shape Up, or actually the 21-day Rapid Fat Loss Blueprint, and then the Bikini Body Shape Up program, which my wife and I co-created.
Oh, so you still had that product. Yeah. You had a bad launch, but it was still a good product. So once you had a list,
here's the reality. Based off the numbers and everything, we worked out there was about a 7% uptake for the program, which 7% I'll take any day of the week.
Sure. So did you like immediately take them to an upsell, right? So here's your free opt-in. Hey, thank you very much. You may also like this, or did you wait and kind of nurture them?
When we created the Bikini Body Shape Up, they went straight into what we call our return on investment funnel. And that's where we placed an offer immediately.
And did you do that with your 7-day meal plan, the free one, or did you wait to let them get a little benefit and then make an offer?
We made the offer straight away.
So
much value already given
to a thank you page. Hey, you can buy this.
Yep.
Sure. And then what was that uptake? Was that pretty good?
It was very good. At the start, we were getting around 7%, which is very high.
Right.
And what we need to remember as well, back then, like now we can get anywhere from 1%, 3%, 5%, depending on the deliverable. Even 1% is great because we get massive return on investment with 1%. But back then, Facebook was fairly new, like from the advertising perspective. Because once we started getting these leads, I was like, man, I'm happy to pay for these leads because now we've got a product and service, and we can recoup our costs, which is why the return on investment funnel, was created, because we just wanted to create a return on investment. Yeah, we're spending at some stage up to $2,000 a day on advertising, and the funny thing was, I didn't have a clue about the stats. I just knew we were making more money than what we're spending, and we're generating a massive database. At the time, we were helping heaps of people. It was just, things have changed obviously now, and you've got to be more precise and more strategic with what you do. But that was the crux of it.
And were you still doing it alone, basically, or did you start to get some outsource or bring in some contractors to offload some of the?
It was me. And look, up until a year ago, it's all been me. And even now, I still do a lot of hands-on stuff as well. One thing I did learn throughout this entire journey was, and again, it can sort of be an Achilles heel, but in the same token, I can really train people up very quickly because I know exactly what to do. I was the personal trainer who sat there doing HTML coding. I've incorporated it, about 8 or 9 different shopping carts. I've created membership sites. I've done all the technical stuff as well, which is a very unique thing for me, and why Authority Academy is extremely popular is because I can bridge the gap from strategy and idea, where you can get some expert who says, yeah, you need to have an upsell, you need to link it to this, and then you need to bring them back around here and do that. But most people are like, how the heck do I even actually do it from a technical level? I know the strategy, but I've learnt, and now I guess I'm cashing in on the time that I put in, the thousands of hours learning the trade, to be able to actually go and implement it. But now It's literally been this year where I have I brought my brother into the business where now he's going to be taking over all of that. So ideally, I don't want to be building any funnels, doing any of that now. But again, right. and that's a beautiful thing. And I think it's important that I share that because many people look at me and go, oh, you must have a team of, like 30 people doing what you're doing. But the reality is it doesn't take that much. Now, of course, we have outsourcers. I've got designers and I've got people who do some video editing, all of that. But guess what? I started the video editing. I'd film the video. I'd do the iMovie creation and upload here and do all that. And it's something that I think you need to have a high level of understanding about to then be able to outsource it or partner up with someone who does know about it, because there's too many people in this day and age getting pumped and ripped off by people who are, I'll do that for you. I'll build your ClickFunnels funnel for you and I'll charge you $10,000.
Right.
Only take you about an hour. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and I am glad you brought that up because, I grew up kind of like you. I mean, I had to learn it, and didn't have a team. I still don't have a big team. I think people they're lured into this trap of what success is, and they think it's having a team and an entourage, right? And people you can boss around. It's like, no, it's really about making more money and then having the freedom because you have money to then decide how to spend your life, right? Yeah. How do you want to spend your day? How do you want to spend your life? And usually it's by staying leaner and meaner, right? Only bringing on people when you need them, knowing exactly what you need them to do so they can't bullshit you. Yeah. And then you produce results.
Well, the problem with me is, and I don't think it's a problem, I think this is why I can execute like crazy and I can get shit done really quickly. Whereas if I'd be sitting there at night, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I've got an idea, boom, straight to the computer, I build out a funnel, right? I don't have to email the team over in India to get the page up to do this, which takes another week or two. And then, for me, it's like I can execute really quickly. But now I'm able to have the team execute really quickly as well. I think it's imperative if you want to scale past a certain level. But, if you're just solopreneur and you just want to make a great living, doing it yourself and serving, thousands of people, then you can do it all yourself. But for me, we want to serve, millions of people. And I can't personally serve millions of people by myself. So this is where a team environment to help support that mission and vision is extremely important.
So how have things changed now? And what are you recommending to people? Because obviously Facebook has changed, social media has changed, digital marketing has changed. So what are you telling people? How do they grow now, moving into 2017 and beyond?
Well, I guess the first things first is you just need to be more strategic. You need to remain on the cutting edge of certain areas, or you need to pay and invest in people who are on the cutting edge who can teach you. It's simple as that, and you need to pay attention, especially with Facebook. I mean, if people aren't out there right now posting at least 3 videos a day on your page, you're missing out. You're missing out. Videos right now is massive. If you're not doing a Facebook Live at least once every 2 days, you are missing out on massive amounts of traffic.
Once every 2 days or 2 to 3 per day?
Well, I highly recommend. Well, again, we want to start off. I don't want to scare everyone. At least one every 2 days. I would recommend you start doing it every day because guess what's going to happen? The same thing that happened with Facebook Offers, the same thing that happened with all the new tools that they're bringing out. It'll get to a point where it reaches critical mass and your videos aren't going to be seen as much. But you need to make hay while the sun shines.
Most people are terrible, but is that why you would encourage them to start so they can then get better?
Of course. Every single event I do where I'm teaching, digital strategies, etc., I always get everyone in the crowd to go live. 90% of them never gone live. I think in this year alone, from a face-to-face value, there's been over 500 people where we would have got them started to go live. So, in fact, I'm probably contributing to the critical mass drop-off point. But the reality is you're going to start somewhere. And once you do it the first time, you're going to want to do it again because you're going to get this feeling of, wow, that was amazing.
Now, do you have like a strategy? Hey, here's what I'm going to talk about today or this week, or is it just like when you get the inspiration, you say, you know what, it's 12 noon, it's time to do live, and I'm pressing go.
So we have a strategy, and we also sometimes don't have a strategy. But let me premise that by saying I've created a training called the Facebook Live Roadmap. So to make it easy for people who aren't really sure, there's the pre, during, and post components to a live. There's what do you do before it, what do you do during it, and what do you do after it. And they each have significant points. If you want, I can give you a link. You can share it with the audience. It's a free download. They can go and get it. There's a training video that goes along with it. But basically, you do need to have a bit of a strategy as to why you're doing it. Yeah, because guess what? Already in the last couple of months since lives have gone, very, very popular, I would log on when it first started, and like literally within the first 25 seconds, which is generally how long it takes for someone to come on to the stream, we'd have like 400, 500, 600 people on viewing instantly. Now we might do it, we get 60, 70, 80, right? Does that mean people don't like me anymore? No, not at all. It has everything to do with everyone else is going live now, and viewers are being drawn away from that, which is okay because I know the game. I know the rules. People sit there and get upset with Facebook and go, oh, my Facebook fan page is only getting 1% reach now. Yes, that's what Facebook rules are right now. Back in the day, you get 70, 80, even 100+%, of your posts. But you just need to know the rules, and you need to play the game. And right now, if you're not using video or lives, you're missing out on the game. Massive amount of potential you're missing. One of our fan pages we created last week with 21,000 new organic fans from video.
In a week?
In a week. 26 million people viewed the page.
Is this like a spinoff or like a brand new company you're consulting?
So it's part of our concept called the social ecosystem. And let me drop a bomb for everyone because this is very important, okay? Back when I first started Facebook pages, I noticed that if someone shared my post, it would get seen more, right? Make sense? So I thought, wow, how do I get more people to share my stuff? But then what that did was that relied on other people having to share my stuff. So I'm like, what if I created a massive social ecosystem that shared my own stuff? I'm telling you, that strategy right there, I know someone at the moment teaching that and they charge you $10,000 to learn that strategy. If you took anything from that, start taking your business, your reach, your message into the responsibility of your own hands and work out how can you start getting it out to more people. So when I launched our franchise, right, I had already built a Facebook page with over 10,000 fitness professionals on it. It had nothing to do with Brett Campbell. Whilst I was the content producer and majority the face of the page,
right.
So all of a sudden, my messages were able to be able to put in front of the right people.
Very cool. Do you do anything else with that video? I mean, do you download it and go put it on YouTube or Vimeo and use it later, or just throw it out Facebook Live, let it live as long as it can live, and move on?
Yeah, we syndicate the pants off it. Yeah.
All right.
So YouTube.
Tell everybody, send me that link because I'm going to publish this right away. So send it. I'll include that in the downloads, and I'll start doing it myself.
Mate, yeah. Look, honestly, and especially if you are a face of your brand, or
right,
especially in the expert space, the authority space, where you are potentially and let me share another tip here is if you do have a business fan page, and I wish I started this a bit earlier, like I've only been building my personal brand probably for the last 12 months, mine and my wife's. If we started earlier, we would have far greater reach right now. But just think about this. Most entrepreneurs don't have their own public figure page. They have their business page, right? Their brand page, fan page. But my question to you is, in 10 years, are you still going to have that business? Most likely not. Probably not. Don't know. Maybe, yes. But the reality is, are you still going to be here 10 years? Well, hopefully. So start building your own following as well. Whether you're using it to market anything else right now or not, just start building your own following of people that want to put their hand up and follow you.
So like mine, I mean, I am the sales whisperer, right? And I am Wes Schaefer. So, and the name is all together, Wes Schaefer, the sales whisperer, right? So should I just keep it the sales whisperer and then make another Wes Schaefer?
I would.
Okay.
Because is your identity a sales whisperer? Is that your true core identity of who Wes Schaefer is as a person?
It has become somewhat synonymous, but no, it's not total.
Right, because there's more to you than just sales, right?
Right.
100%. It's like me having Brett Campbell, marketing expert. That basically, when people see Brett Campbell, marketing expert, then I'm talking about unleash your greatness, living to your full potential, etc. I'm releasing my book and all of those things. They're like, what's this got to even do with marketing? Or, and I see it a lot with fitness professionals. They'll call themselves, Brett Campbell, personal trainer. I truly believe that we should have our own personal identity. There's going to be a certain amount of people that will follow you through anyway. It just happens like that. Yeah, that'd be my advice.
All right. I've got some reading to do. So parting words of wisdom. It's the last question I like to ask my guests. Imagine, speaking of fitness, right? I always use this example. Imagine somebody's listening and they're on a jog, they're on a bike ride, they're in a plane, they're commuting, they can't write anything down. What should they take away from this? What's the one thing when they do get to their desk and they can take action? What should they do?
That's a really good question.
That's why I'm called the sales whisperer.
If I be real about it, it's got nothing to do with marketing. It's got nothing to do with social media strategies, but it's got everything to do with you and your life. I want you to sit down and I want you to ask the question, are you currently living to your full potential? Are you currently living a life that you could truly say that if you died in 12 months, you would say, you know what, I've been happy with that? And if the answer is no, you need to start making drastic changes to start fulfilling that because, again, life's far too short. It doesn't matter how much money you got in your bank account. It doesn't matter how many people you've served. If you're not served or fulfilled from within, then you're just not going to be living that life that you truly, truly want to. And I know everyone watching this right now, you would not have got this far if you don't want more in life. And if you want more in life, you owe it to not only yourself, but to every single other person that you can serve and have a massive impact on, that you go out there and you start doing what it is that you truly want to be doing.
Right. Well said. Let's end on that, shall we? Where should people go to find you? I've got a bunch of links for you. What's the most efficient?
Just go to Brett Campbell, BRETT, Campbell.net, and you can go and find links to podcasts, books, courses, whatever you want up there. And you know what? I'm a human. See me on Facebook. Join me on Facebook. Send me a personal message. I'd love to hear from you.
Right. That's what I did. This man tells the truth.
Did indeed. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Brett Campbell from New Zealand via Australia. Thanks for coming on the Sales Podcast, man. It's been awesome.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you for sharing me and my message with your audience. It's an absolute honor.
All right, man. Have a great day. What did I tell you? Now you know why I delayed this. And it's funny. You start to put some things into place, and then more and more opportunity comes your way. So we shall see. I'm in talks with a few other people, but I do have some ideas, ways I want to modify. I don't know if improving is the right word, but maybe make a little shift. So I always got those ideas noodling, but I hope you took a lot of notes. Go back and listen. As you can tell, Brett is a sincere individual, no hype, no BS, pulled himself up, didn't come from money, made things happen, tried to go the traditional route. It wasn't for him. And isn't it ironic that what got him in trouble early on was actually his blessing? So be careful who you take advice from. Okay, it's great to have mentors. It's great to have coaches and advisors. You need somebody that can help you read the label, right? Because I always say you can't read the label from inside the bottle. But you've got to trust your gut as well. A good coach, a good advisor, a good mentor will accentuate and accelerate what's great about you, what your assets are, help you turn off opportunities that are more distractions than opportunities. Okay, so be careful who you listen to. And I'm glad it worked out for Brett. He's hit the ground running. He followed his passion. He dug in. We have a lot in common in the way we have both had to dig in to figure things out on our own. People let us down. But now they can't pull the wool over our eyes. And we can talk the talk. We can walk the walk. We know if somebody isn't shooting straight with us, and we get the job done. So, check out his offerings. I have links to his Instagram, to his Facebook, to his book offer, to his free report that he talked about and has provided. He showed me his book. We do this over Zoom. It was the first time I did a podcast over Zoom, so I apologize if the audio wasn't quite right. It sounded a little bit hollow, but I'll get that dialed in for future episodes. But he showed me his book. He literally just arrived, so just a great guy. If you run across him in person, I guarantee you he'll be exactly like he sounds. But do reach out to him on social media. He does mean it when he says he wants to hang out and connect. So take him up on that. All right. And then, like I said, when you go to the site, when you go to thesaleswhisperer.com/session 215 to get the notes and the download, sign up for my daily email, and apply for a free call with me to see if my private coaching and consulting is right for you, if it's a fit. And I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better. As always, thanks for listening. Please leave a comment, a review. It really does help the show. Let me know that you're listening. And remember to sell different.